We always talk football with you, Chris, but now we get to fold men's basketball in as well. It's a special time here at the Capstone. Roll Tide.
At Roll Tide, it is a fun time to be able to talk basketball. You know, number two preseason ranking in the national polls, the highest ever. A lot of us think that, frankly, Alabama should have been ranked number one, and the voters just got down to it and go, all right, we got Kansas and Alabama. This is basketball. We got to put Kansas number one, which I get. If I was sitting in Ohio somewhere, that's probably the way I would do it as well, based on history. But still, it's exciting to see Alabama there and to know that they're worthy of it. And anybody that saw last night's game, understanding that they were not at full strength, but still plenty of strength, would understandably be excited because it was an impressive performance.
Impressive performance, great crowd at Coleman Coliseum for both the women's and the men's game. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
Alabama basketball should be. And again, this team is firing on all cylinders last night. Led the way, Mark Sears, 20 points. Great to see it.
Yeah, 225 combined points between the men and the women. I think in last night's ball game, the women did outscore and out defend because Asheville got all of 54 on the board. And that's a really good team that's going to contend for the Big South title. They have the last couple of years. They did lose the conference player of the year for the last two seasons, but they've got some players who, once the game was out of hand, we saw, their skill, their ability, but Alabama just took them out of it. And it was great to see so much depth, so much energy. And that to me is the most impressive thing that Nate Oates is able to get out of his teams as we've started season number 6. Um, the fact that he can get stars to play as hard and as tough and as much team basketball as he does, unselfish, still a chance to play and be themselves and their own personality, if you will, their own style, but yet make it in a team concept where they're so unselfish. That is great to see. And even, look, it's impossible to look at Mark Sears and not see improvement. He's going to be what he is offensively, which is as dangerous as anybody in the country. But to see him absolutely um, in the jersey of the guy that he's guarding and show that step up. Now, I know it again, it's not, even though it's a good opponent, it's not what they're going to face very, very soon. But just from a technique, fundamental energy, effort standpoint, to see the commitment that that guy has. And when your best player on a team full of great players, but your best player clearly buys into what the coach is wanting done, it's a great sign of where things can be for this team.
Really special night getting to celebrate Alabama basketball last night, but of course, so much of our focus is on football and getting
Yeah,
ready for what's coming up on Saturday in Baton Rouge. It seems like the bye week came at a good time for this football team, and now they get to refocus and get ready for what'll be a very tough test on Saturday.
no doubt. They did need it because it was, pretty tough physically. You're at the time of year where you're worn out, regardless of whether you've had a bye week already, and the Tide did after the first 4 games, and then 4 more, they get another one, but needed it. This was a stretch that basically started off with um, a tough loss to Tennessee, and then they're able to come back and get a win that they needed, and you go and look, not just the win, but look good doing it. And I think that was very much needed for this squad. And you get a breather, you get a chance to regroup, heal up, rest up, all that stuff. And, now you've got obviously Mercer at home, but you've got Oklahoma on the road, which that may be for their season, trying to mess things up for Alabama, depending on where things are. And it's Alabama, Oklahoma. It doesn't need a whole lot, especially the first time to meet in conference play as fellow members. So that's going to be special and meaningful in Norman. The Iron Bowl is always the Iron Bowl, and that one in Baton Rouge is always special and tough And despite the fact that Alabama's had great success over the years in that stadium, it's not like they've done it in a cakewalk fashion. So this is a challenge, a great one. It's in essence, I think, uh, in all likelihood, a play-in game or an elimination game is probably a better way to put it for the playoff. And hopefully, uh, if it doesn't go our way, in a season full already of crazy things, maybe you get on a roll and get a vote to go your way with some other stuff going the wrong way. But it's even better to just take care of business yourself and put yourself, frankly, back in the mix of the conversation for a trip to Atlanta. In addition to a playoff spot, there's a ton of stuff that can happen, and a lot of it's good. So you find a way to get another one in Baton Rouge, then you control things a whole lot better. Certainly from a playoff perspective, I think even the people that dislike the Tide the most would have a logically difficult time, given this schedule, this league, to keep a two-loss Alabama team out of a playoff. I don't think there's any chance of that happening. But you take destiny out of your own hands if you lose this ball game. But I think it'll be the typical matchup between the Tide and the Tigers that goes to the wire. I do think Alabama showed a lot of things really even in the loss to Tennessee, the last 2 weeks, that gives you a lot of belief in where this team can be, but also where they're trending pretty rapidly as well.
That's what it's all about. Alabama against LSU under the lights at Death Valley coming up on Saturday. We look forward to that. Hey, Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show on Wednesday. Some basketball in between. Chris Stewart, it's going to be a very busy week, but thank you for taking some time with us here on Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, buddy. Always enjoy it.